How do you maintain vocal power on long tours? Do you have a process, or is it just good rock and roll living to keep your voice strong?
Well, it's not good rock and roll living because if you live good rock and roll lifestyle, you're certainly not taking care of your voice. I think that for us, it's what the goal is at the end, and that's to play to as many people as possible and to make them happy. You know, our brand of music is something that makes people very happy.
It's 21 years since you launched the band's website, the first website for a band ever. People still talk about this as a landmark event and how it started bands using the internet to profile and market themselves. How do you look back at this?
Well, I think they're right. You know, if you're the first band website, that's a landmark event. That's like having the first baby. You know, and I think that a lot of people, you know, they don't know that. It's not really going to make or break me if somebody doesn't know that, you know, we had the first band website. But I do think that it's one of those things that gives a little bit of credibility to our always constantly pursuing having a deeper, more enriched relationship with our fans through the net, through social media, through meet and greets and stuff like that. We're actually physically in front of them. You know, there's a lot of bands. Me growing up, if I would have thought, oh shit, I'd be sitting in a room, you know, shaking hands and taking pictures with Jimmy Page, I would have said, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? But you know, this is the way that young generations now, because of the way the music industry, you have to make yourself a little more available. Now, do I mind making myself available? No, I actually really, really enjoy meeting our fans. Sometimes it's a little bit, you know, uncomfortable because, you know, there's so many people and you want to give everybody everything, but you just run out of time, and you know, there's only so much you can split yourself before you start to come apart at the seams.
Writing lyrics and vocal melodies for riff, rock, or metal can be a frustrating process for some songwriters. How long can you spend on writing lyrics and melodies?
It depends. Some lyrics will take a long time to come together. Sometimes I'll have complete writer's block. Other times I'll sit down and write something from beginning to end in one sitting. It depends. And you know, I guess it goes back to the magic of rhyming. If you're rhyming, you know, all the letters exactly, or if you're rhyming the phonetic sound at the end. Because night and ice both rhyme, so does bike and mile, you know, if you look for the vowel. Yeah. So I think that if you know that those are rules you can bend or break if you want to, that makes things a lot easier to lyrically, you know, fit what you need out of the song. I think a lot of people too, they don't do storyboards about their songs. What is the song? What's the payoff? What, you know, what are you trying to say? Is it something that makes you feel good when you're surfing or skating or, you know, in the ring, or, you know, when you're riding a motorcycle or a horse or racing your car? Or is it something like the guy in Prince says to Prince in the movie, and he goes, no one understands your music but yourself. That's kind of a bummer when people say that.
Do you see crowdfunding organisations like Pledge Music an important saviour to the rock industry, and how has your experience been with it?
For baby bands and stuff like that, we wanted to do this pledge thing. If you're talking about pledge, we did that because we wanted fans to be able to come into the studio and see what we were doing, and to be able to have a one-on-one experience with me, with guitar lessons, with songwriting sessions, with buying gear that Chris played on, that I played on, so on and so forth, and just, you know, let them know what it's like to be in the studio with us for the day. And there were several people that came in for a few hours, and we hung out, had beers, and I even let them run the Pro Tools rig. So, you know, some of the recordings that are on Dystopia were done by some of the people that came to us through the pledges through pledge.com.